I'm going to screen share. Good morning, good afternoon, welcome, good evening, good day. Three, two, one, action. I'm going to screen share Myra, a pre recorded song that Myra did. This one is New York, New York. And I'm picking the right one, Myra?
Yes, you are. We're taking a trip through New York City,
Oh,
and we're going to see the chorus line, and then we're getting on a plane and coming home.
okay. And so if my screen share is working, do we see your video there?
I see my hands. They aren't moving yet, but
Okay. I'll press play. Now, Myra, you have to keep it down while you play. Wait a
started
second.
in the middle.
Let's start that from the beginning. There we
Yeah.
go. Okay, here we go. Three, two, one.
Let's take a trip to New York.
was pretty good, Myra. Yes, let me do this.
Unmute me. Mm,
Hey,
I, li- I
hang
like to
a
do,
second. Let me give you a round of applause. Hey, I sound like a bunch of people, don't I? Okay.
I like medleys. I like putting songs together that have something to do with each other. First was New York, New York, and then we went to see a chorus line. And then we took a ride through Central Park for Manhattan. And then we went back to New York, New York. Now, medley can be short or it can be longer. It depends on how much you want to put into it. But I use things that are simple for me to use. I like to arrange, and probably a lot of you do too. You like to make your own presets, put your own sounds in, because I feel an organ is a very personal thing. It belongs to you. Just like if you have a car that has a button that remembers how you sit, it knows how high you want to be, how close you want to be, how you want your steering wheel. You want your organ to be the same way. You want it to be personal for you. And that's what we're talking about today. How can I make it mine? I want it to work for me the way I want it to work, and I want it to be easy. And the first thing that I go into is my settings. Now, if you have an SU organ, you do not have this. If you have a Prestige or a Legend, you do not. It started with the Sterling. So Sterling, Patriot, Liberty, Marquis, Grand Marquis, Aria. You all have my settings. It's a great place to put things. So when you first turn on your organ, you don't have to touch a lot of things to get ready. So in my settings, I have a lot of things, but the simple things to put in, because what does not automatically come on is your virtual speakers. They do not. Virtual speakers will only come on if you turn them on. And I know we had a teacher and he used to forget to put it on. And therefore, you're not getting the beauty of your organ without them on. Your equalizer. Some of us like it one way, some of us like it mellow. I happen to like jazz pop. So I now have got my virtual speakers, my jazz pop, and we'll talk about next preset later, but I also would have next preset in there. You can put anything that you don't want to have to think of. When you sit down to your organ, you want to turn it on, touch my settings #1, and you're ready to go. Now, if you have two people that play in your house, maybe a husband and wife, of course, the wife gets #1, husband gets #2. That's the way it goes. You can put your settings in one, and he can put his settings in two. In my case, I have next preset. If you noticed when I was playing, I very seldom get up and touch a button. My hands stay on the keyboards because my foot is taking care of it with a kick switch. And I use a right kick switch, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too. The right kick switch, which is easy to do once you get to do it. I've taught classes where people have said, I can't do that. And once they tried it and worked on it, that is the neatest thing I've ever done. My hands never leave the keyboard. I never lose my place. It's wonderful. So in my #1, I have next preset, but I have a choice of having it with the bank presets. And because I use bank presets. If you notice, when I was playing that song, I was going from one to the other. So my #1 has use the bank presets. My #2 has the very same settings, but I don't use the bank presets because I may want to just go up and pick a rhythm that I like to play. I love Love Ballad. I'd like to play Love Ballad. I just want to play it with the presets they have. And so I can use my next preset to go through those. Another neat thing about using your next preset with your foot on the right kick switch is the fact that if you are doing any kind of arrangements that take you from A to B, do you know how hard it is to get from A10 to B0? Not that easy. But if you have a kick switch, it takes you right there with no problem at all. It takes getting used to. There is no doubt about it.
Let me jump in
Robert,
real
can
quick.
you show my settings on the screen?
From the manual.
I don't care.
Yeah, does that look? You see that?
Not yet.
Oh, no, my screen
It's
share.
it's still sharing.
It says sharing.
Yes. There's a little picture also on the page that you put up. How to make your organ your
Yeah,
own.
let me try it. Sometimes the screen share is not working. Is it showing now?
Nope,
Of course.
of course not.
Oh, of course it's not going to work. All right.
If you have a an organ like the Sterling Patriot Liberty,
How about
you
now?
nope.
Okay. One more
Hey,
You
time.
have you
I,
have two screens. It's on your right hand side screen. If you have a marquee, grand marquee aria, it is on your, there it is. There it is.
okay.
If you have, yes, if you have a marquee, grand marquee, or aria, it is still, because you have a large screen. You have the iPad side screen. It's at the top of your
you're
screen
referring
on
to
the,
you're referring to this side right here. Everybody,
yeah,
she's talking about is my settings.
especially built for you, my settings. See, number one, set. Number two, initial.
Okay.
If you had just gotten your organ and perhaps it was a pre-owned organ and someone else had something in it, I would say do initial one, which will clear it out, and then do initial two. Now you're ready to go. You choose whatever you want to put in there, and there are a lot of choices. Like I say, I like next preset. If you have 5 custom buttons, because these kind of work together, some of you have 4.
Now,
If
Myra,
you have
pause right
SU,
there for a
some of
minute.
you have 3, some have
Myra,
3.
Myra,
Yes.
pause for a second. I'm gonna show this on the screen about my settings. Now, I can't put this on and this at, well, maybe I can, but I'm not gonna try. So here's an instrument that has my settings 1 and 2, just like we just displayed, like she was talking about. Now, I'm gonna caution you on something. This is very important to know for those of you who have it. And by the way, the next topic that we're going to discuss is going to be basically on all of the A series models, because I know not everybody has the custom feature or the my settings feature. But the next thing that Myra was starting to talk about, every A series model has it. So we're going to get into that. But real quickly, if you happen to have my settings, she made a very important point, is that sometimes someone had it before, had their own settings in there or something like that. The other thing too is some of these models, because they were updated, like this model it was a conversion, a full conversion to a symphony. Those my settings, the default settings aren't always ideal. So here's what I always suggest to people is when you first power it up, the first thing I like to do with any organ that has my settings is it comes up to the default organ sound. All I do is instead of initial, because what initial does on most of the models, it puts on a default organ sound. So what I do is I just turn on the organ, hit set 1, and then set 2. Now, whatever setting is there is programmed there, okay? So now to take it a step further, what Myra did in her video, if you watch when she was playing, her hands were, it's like her hands never left the keyboard.
Only once.
But it's because she's using all these little features and functions, so she doesn't have to do this a lot. Okay? And a lot of times when I play, I do this a lot, but I'm really not pushing anything. I'm just making it look like it. And people, wow, and I'm just no. I tend to do more work sometimes. Um, but so it's real simple. If I set up the organ, however it is, foot switches, whatever, if I push a preset, a sound, a button, this, I like my virtual speakers on, my equalizer a certain way, whatever, however I like it, to set it is one of the easiest things to do. You just hit set and then 1, boom, done. That's it. And then when you do another setting, maybe you want another setting where the master volume, remember, she said some very important things. My presets don't save every single button. It saves the important settings that have to do with right hand, left hand, upper keyboard registration. But maybe I want a setting like she mentioned, maybe 2 members of the household. This is classic. I know a lot of two household members, husband and wife. One hears the bass better than the other. One hears the treble, so they tend to mess with the equalizer differently. And then all you have to do is set it up, hit set and 2. All right. So that's all you do is hit set 2, set 1. Now, how do you replace it, Myra? What if you want another setting in there? Do I have to go back and initialize and do all that stuff?
No, whatever you want to add, you just add it and set again.
Essentially, you just, however you have it set, you just override the next one. So
I have
you don't ever have to keep initializing
no,
every time.
no. You can add whatever you want to add to it, which is nice. I have something in 5, 4, 5, 4, 3. I keep the same. Now, let's say 5. I have it in 5, and I have it in 2, and I have it in 1. So they're things that I wanted in on my custom, and I've saved them over there
Okay.
in my settings. So I can save anytime I want to, anything I want. Maybe I don't want the equalizer on that jazz pop anymore. Maybe I want to put it on mellow. Maybe I want to put it on a different setting. I can do that too. I can change it. I can change it and then set it again, and it will change automatically for me. One of the really neat things, and I'll get to it in number 2. And by the way, my settings is on page 4. If you want to look at it, I've given you some information on this sheet. But if you want to go into your manual, manual, we always say a manual, when you don't know what you're doing, you can go to your manual. Usually you can pretty much figure out what you're doing or ask someone. But the manual is for me too. Very often I will go into a manual and look at something and understand it better than I did before. Let's jump to Roman numeral 2, which was custom buttons. Custom buttons, either you have 5 or 4 or 3. So or maybe even 2, but you have custom buttons there that you can use. If you have a prestige, a sterling up, you have 5. In number 1, you have preset information. I don't use this one. That's why this is one that I can replace with something else. But I have preset information. Oh, rhythm. I'm sorry, rhythm style display, not preset.
Now,
Number 1 is the one that's
is this showing up
to,
on the? You see that?
Yes, Robert. Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Number 1 is to your left. It's the first button to your left. The rhythm style display. Let's suppose you go into country and you pull up a screen and you leave that screen and now you want to get back to it. If you touch number 1, it'll take you right back to it. I don't use that very often, so it's a place I can put something else. Number 2 are your upper organ drawbars. Now, if you are a serious organ player, you may not want to touch this. You may, as the old Hammonds used to have drawbars, this has drawbars. So if you don't want to put drawbars there, guess what? You can put something else in that spot, which I do. Number 3 is my next preset, and I'm coming back to that one in just a minute. Number 4, never, ever, ever replace number 4. It is your preset information. It is what shows you what's on your upper keyboard, what's on your bottom keyboard, what instruments are available for you, so that when you're playing, you can see exactly. You want a piano? It may be in number 8. You want strings? It may be in number 4. You will be able to see them exactly. Number 5 is a keyboard screen display. Now, I know a lot of people like to see that when a concert artist is playing, but I don't think you as a player would want to watch yourself. So there is a place that I put my flash drive, and this is marvelous for a flash drive. So if I put my flash drive in.
All right, Myra, pause for a second.
Yep.
Because you went through those 5 things. Now,
I did.
What I'm going to do.
And I went back to 3, which is a really important.
Hold on. I'm going to take you on a little ride. Ooh,
okay.
Oh, I don't know how good you could see that, but let's see here. Can you see that okay?
Whoa.
I'm holding
pretty well.
Well, hold on. Let me get my tripod. There's a glare. Oh my goodness.
It's fine.
Yeah, but
here's number 1, like she said. So when you press 1, oh, I have to have a rhythm style. There we go.
You put a rhythm style in.
So there's all the styles listed, like she said. Number 2 was what?
Number 2 is the drawbars.
Okay.
Organ draw.
Here's number 2. Now, basically, not to get into detail, but you would touch these, and it would affect the organ
Upper,
sound.
the
The
upper
organ
keyboard.
sound. So if I had this, okay, watch. I'm just going to tap the screen around and see if you can
Just
get.
like the old Hammond.
Okay, and you could tap it and scroll it, touch it, and it would change the organ sounds. Like she said, not many people use that unless you're really serious about your organ sounds. Number
That's a good place to to reset. Okay, number 3 is next preset.
Okay.
And we'll
Ooh,
come back. We're gonna, yeah, that one is
we'll
nice.
come
That's
back
what
to that, she says. So I'll skip on to number 4.
number 4, very, very important. Next preset, that tells you what's in your preset information.
So many of you
What
probably
in
got that one by now, but anytime I pick a rhythm, you'll see when I push it up this rhythm, and it tells me. I don't know if you can see it there, but it tells me what's on the upper and the lower on every preset if I switch a category, etc. And the number 5 you said does what?
is keyboard display, which is
Oh,
nice if you're doing a concert, but
cool.
it's a place that I like to put my flash drive.
Okay,
So
so
now
I,
I bet,
how I like to use it. You
do
you gave
you?
yeah, you gave me a recording of one of your songs once, and I
Hmm.
played it back on the organ. And I was like, how did she play those fancy notes? And I played it back on the screen, and I saw what you did.
So it does have a value. Yes. I use
All right.
it for something else.
And I've been taking
Do
and
you
I've
have
been
a
taking
flash?
credit for that ever since.
Do you have a flash drive on you, Robert?
I do always have a flash drive.
Well, would you put the flash drive in?
No, no, I'm just kidding. Just give me that.
Clear your screen. Do your feature clear first.
Hold on, let me grab my USB. I used to have it around my neck in the strap book. Okay. All right, you want me to hit what now? Clear this?
Yeah, clear the screen. Okay.
Now you want me to
Put
put
your
the
flash
USB
drive.
in the
Let
organ?
me know.
Okay. I think I did it right.
Okay, then go to your USB button,
Like that.
right? And then load presets.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, wait till it comes up.
Okay, I'm waiting. I got a lot of stuff on this, so we might be.
Yeah, mine takes a lot too.
Okay.
And
No.
then when it finally comes up, you're going to go to the memorize button
Okay.
that's in front of your bank
Now hold
presets.
on. Hold on. Let me slide this over so I don't make everybody dizzy. So, folks, backing up, I want to back up a little bit. We were talking about custom buttons. Everybody has features that they really use, um, some more than others. So the custom buttons, think of it as basically your favorite features on the organ, okay? That's why she was pretty adamant about not changing number 4, because that's usually a godsend for most students. You have that custom 4 button. The custom 4 tells you all those. So you want to find one of the custom buttons you don't think you're going to use the most. Drawbars tends to be a common one because not many people use that except for the serious organ players. But once you'd establish what feature you want to use a lot, and in her case, she likes to load her presets a lot. Am I on the right track here, Myra?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so what she wants to do, instead of doing what I just did, which is after I put the USB, I had to reach up and hit USB, I had to hit load presets. Instead of doing all that, we're going to save a step or two, and she's going to save that feature onto a custom button. So I'm going to as smoothly as I can slide over so I don't make you dizzy.
So you are going to touch the memorize button.
Okay, let me see if I can
That
get this whole angle in the screen at the same time. Wow. I think maybe Fletcher can hire me to be a camera person.
this is the most valuable thing I ever learned,
So I'm going to push memorize. Hold on
right?
a second.
And make sure it's lit. Is it lit?
Yeah. It seems like he's muted, I think.
Are you muted, Robert?
It's it's better if you mime it anyway, I think.
Oh,
You keep
Can he hear me?
unmuting me. Hit one of the light switches.
Okay,
Hold
you
on.
took,
I'm asking Jerome to dim the light switch so maybe we can get rid of the glare. Oh, can you see that?
okay, so it's lit, right?
Oh, I'm the new camera guy and Jerome is the new lighting. Okay, so I'm going to push memorize. And
And
when I press it, folks, watch what happens over here, okay? 3, 2, 1.
okay, and now I put mine in number 5. You
Okay,
could put it
so
in number
before I do
2.
that, it says memorizing 2. And at this point, I'm not going to memorize to a preset like most people do. We're going to save a feature into the custom buttons. And what number did you choose?
I use 5 because
Okay,
it's
so I'm going to push
convenient.
5. And when I push 5, I'm going to tell you when I'm going to do it. Hold on. I'm just showing you where I'm going. Now, when I push 5, the screen will come up and it'll give me an option. Okay.
Yep,
Now, let me zoom in.
and you don't have to touch the option. That is the correct one, screen display.
Screen display. Okay.
But there's one more step.
Okay.
You have to go and turn off the memorize button.
Okay. Now, before I go any further, because I know someone's going to ask, this one can be a little complex, and I'm going to encourage you to reach out to your PA for this question, but I'll explain it first. Screen display, when we save this feature, when I do the final step that Myra's telling us, will do just that. It'll pull up the screen display automatically for us to do the function. What value in setting means is if you have a feature that we use, for example, say a split, and I want to move the split, I have the choice of saving the split screen to come up and then change it, or to automatically change it. Value setting will do exactly that. It will automatically do everything, but you have to be cautious when using that. What Myra is doing is she's saving the feature of loading the USB on custom 5 so she doesn't have to go through all that. So right now I pushed memorize custom 5 and this came up, and we're going to leave it on screen display. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach over with my finger, this finger. You can use any finger. And when I do that, let's see what the window says. Here we go. Oh, I pushed memorize. I'm sorry.
Did you finish the memorize?
I just did. So memorize to custom 5. So the steps are, once you have a feature that you want to use on the custom button, you pull it up on the screen, you touch memorize, pick the custom button you want, and then you push memorize to confirm it. Now let me do that again. Memorize 5. We're going to leave it on screen display because that's what we want to show up. And then I press memorize to confirm it. And then when I do that, it says memorize to custom 5. Now we, whoops, woo. Oh, stop that. Stop. I got
So now if you took that stick out and you put another flash drive in, you don't have to go through load my presets.
All right, so I took my USB out.
Put it back.
See, if I put USB, it says no USB. I took it out. All right, so let me clear the screen. So I turn on the organ. I put the USB in. I put it in all the way. And then I should do what? Custom 5?
Touch number 5.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to push 5. There's my finger. And this is what should happen. Ooh, look at that. Ooh.
Isn't that neat?
Ooh, and it's taking just as long, just like it did.
Because you have a lot of things on your
I only
flash.
have, listen, I only have about 5,000 presets on that, so come on.
Well, I have 88 on mine. So, so there you are. So you can very quickly, without having all of those in between steps. Now, because I love that, I now touch my set number 1 and my set number 2.
So what do I do at this point?
Turn it off.
Turn off the organ or?
No. Turn off the feature, clear the feature. And then I set it into 1 or 2, whatever and I need it in both of mine. So I set it into 1 and I set it into 2.
Oh, I see. So because now what's going to happen, folks, let me just reiterate, and I'm saying this because I want to make sure I understand too, is if I push set 1, okay, it's saves the instrument the way it is. So settings also saves the custom buttons too.
Yes.
So if you go and you change a custom button or you change other stuff, something happens. I think even a reset will wipe out the custom buttons, but a reset
Well,
will not wipe out your my settings.
sometimes you do lose them. I will tell you. Let's face it, it's a
Oh,
computer.
computers.
Yes, sometimes it does, and you have to start again from scratch. But it
However,
doesn't happen.
if I turn off the organ, this, however I have it set right now, and I do a reset, actually, well, I gotta wait. Wow, look at those nice hands.
For anyone who uses flash drives, it is such a marvelous thing to have
So if
right
I
at your fingertips.
set 1, it should, however I had it set up, and then custom 5 will automatically, you can see,
Yep.
my USB is still in the instrument.
Now, just to tell you, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. I have Edit Genius in my custom 1. I have effects in my custom 2. Those are things that I use very often when I am arranging.
Okay, so you have, what do you have?
Okay, let's go to your,
This
nope, go over to your feature,
feature, this
page 4,
page 4, page 3, page 4. Okay,
touch Edit Genius.
okay,
And okay, now I want to save that. I don't want get okay, I want to save that.
okay.
So I'm going to
On a custom
memorize
button, you
just
say?
like you did before.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back over to the custom button memorize option. So here's the memorize.
Memorize and
Okay,
put it at number 1.
number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it in number 2.
Okay, well, I'm going to use 1 later then.
I like number 1. Is that okay?
Well, you can if you want to.
Thank you, Myra. You're so kind. Here's 2. Same thing. And then it says screen display, and then we're gonna just push memorize. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now watch. Memorize to 2. Now, so we've got. I'm gonna clear the screen. We recustomized 2 of the custom buttons. So maybe I'll do set 2 just for the sake of it. Okay. So now basically that whole setting, everything that the instrument set up, including the custom buttons, are in my settings too. So essentially, you can get, if you think like there are more features that I like to use than the 5 custom buttons. Sometimes I have about 7 or 8. What I could do is make sure I have 5 features programmed on the custom buttons the way I like it. And then if I have 2 or 3 more, I would replace them and then put it in my settings too, because then you can go back and forth to the my settings.
I would like 10 custom buttons, quite honestly.
Oh boy, you're greedy. But you could
Well,
do it that way. You could do up to 5. You could do 5 at each and 5 however you want. And
yes, you could.
program it so that way you don't have to keep scrolling through and looking for all of those features when you need them.
And they're things that you use so often.
Very clever. Now, I think I haven't been looking, but now I'm looking. Some people look amazed. Some have the deer in the headlights look. Some look happy. Any questions? I think we should open up for some questions real quick. We've been rambling on.
Yes, we have.
You more than me, though. Just kidding. Any questions? Questions? Raise your hand.
Robert, Myra.
Okay, we got 2 people. One person just spoke, and then Rich S was waving his hand. So who just spoke? We'll answer that question first.
Might have been me. I'm not sure.
Who's me?
Rich?
I haven't spoken yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll start with me, and then I haven't spoken yet. We'll
So-
take both questions. Go ahead, Rich.
Okay, so obviously I shouldn't touch my virtual orchestra while you guys are doing things because I touched some things. And now when I bring up a song or whatever and I hit custom 4, it doesn't bring up the instruments or that screen. On the screen, it comes up button, touch bar left.
Yeah, so you might have just saved a feature in that one. So the good news is on custom buttons, okay, when you do a hard reset,
I did a hard reset
yeah,
5 times,
let's
bring
see.
it up, and it's
Not
still a
Not the
problem.
one here, the 5-finger, or go to the total reset.
I did the 5-finger one.
Well, I'm going to do the total reset here.
Where could you do that?
You hit feature clear and scroll to page 10. What model do you have? Should be the same.
Symphony.
Yeah, it should be the same. And then hit total reset. And then total reset. And it should bring it back to the factory setting. And then,
now I got to go back again.
oh boy.
Say that. So I'm on the My Settings page. I don't want. I
No,
can
no,
always
just
get
hit feature clear. Scroll.
feature.
Yeah, the
Where
button,
is?
it's right to the right of the
Oh
window.
yeah, I got it. Feature clear.
Yeah, and then scroll to page 11. And then there's a reset. And I think page 11 is universal, but just verify that on your instant. And then you hit reset, touch reset. Don't hit it. And then you have a reset presets, which is just going to reset these to factory. If you do the total reset option, it'll say what it says.
All right, I got how to do it. If I don't figure it out now,
And
I'll
if I
figure it.
push 4, now I'm back to what I had before. Now I'm just curious. I'm going to push my settings 2 and see what happens. Oh, total reset. Wiped it out. Yep, see?
Yeah, it does.
Oh boy. So I have to do all that work again.
So
But
you, wait,
Now,
you know what?
what you should do,
It teaches,
once you have all your initial settings set, save that to a stick so you don't have to go through it all over again.
Do I?
you can
do
do
I
that
do-
as well. You can do that, but folks, keep in mind the My Settings saves more stuff than a preset, fortunately or unfortunately. Like
Yeah.
for example, your master volume is not saved with a preset. So there are some things that will not. But anyway, you can still do that though. You can still do it the way you said, Wayne, and at least you'll have most of it. All right. All right, Rich.
know,
Did that answer your question?
Thank you.
Did that answer your question, Rich?
It absolutely did.
Okay.
do you know what this teaches you? Number one, patience. And it also teaches you your instrument, because the more you have hands-on, the more you're going to know. And the more you're going to find out, I didn't know that worked that way, or I didn't know I had that. Hands-on. And the best instrument you own, I don't care if you have an aria, I don't care if you have a Stardust, your best instrument are your ears. You have to learn to listen, because that's how you become your best player, by listening.
Now, someone else had a question. I don't know who was speaking. I want to make sure we get to them. It said it was me. Are you still there? Was that you, Jim? No?
Robert, I think that was me earlier. So
Oh, who's that?
I've
Where-
already spoken.
Oh, you have? Okay. It's hard to find you on the screen here. Any other questions about what we're doing? Raise your hand.
If you're like a deer in the headlights, let us know.
Yeah.
We're here to help you. I'm always available. Anyone can call me for any help they want.
All right. Now, Myra actually has about 5 more topics, but we're going to have to save it for the next A class, Myra.
All right, that's fine.
Well, I think this was good stuff today. What do you guys think? You got another performance technically, right?
I do. I
All
have my
right.
West Side Story finale.
Oh my goodness. West Side Story finale.
Yes. And they can, in this one, listen for sound effects, Watch for our next preset. Listen for the different kinds of rhythms that are used. Listen and see if a rhythm is even used. Try to notice what's happening. Use that instrument I told you that you all have, your ears.
All right. Now, before I put that, I'm going to get it ready. I'm going to ask Sean if he's still there. Are you still there, Sean?
Yep.
We got a couple things that I want to tell you about. First of all, we have what I've been doing lately. I want to take some notes because what I'm going to hopefully do, I'm going to share a goal with you. Oh, where am I looking? I have camera here. I don't know where to look. I'll look here. I'm going to share a goal with you. We have what I'm going to hopefully do. My goal is by March to make logging on easier. And what I'm going to do eventually is I'm going to start in February. I'm going to start providing all the meeting IDs to the Zoom. Okay. Um, that way, if you have the meeting ID and you have a Zoom account, you could just log in using the meeting ID, because when we post these links on our website, it's these really long links, and sometimes they're really long if they have a password. So I'm going to encourage you, if you don't have a Zoom account, sign up for one. It's free. You don't need to pay Zoom any money to join these. It's the same thing if you just click it on the link. And eventually, I want to just be able to provide just the meeting ID so you can just have it handy whenever you need it and then join directly. The other thing that's going to do is over time, if you ever need a quick little question or a session or something with one of your personal assistants, if you have a Zoom account, they can connect with you just like using a phone. Instead of sending you a link and clicking on it, you can connect like a contact and an address in your address book. So there's some benefits to that. So over time, just kind of be on the lookout that I'll start providing a meeting ID along with the link, and then you can try it out first to get the hang of it until I go 100%. The other thing on this week, what I've been doing is we've had Dawn, as many of you know, Joni teaches some great stylings classes, and some of the local staff members, they've been doing some Zoom classes and so forth for the students. And what I'm doing every day now for now is I'm listing all of the classes that's happening that day early in the day. Eventually, I like to get to the point where you're getting all that information up front in a week's notice, and then you can rely on the website and you can go back, so you don't have an email every single day. But that's also about a 2 or 3 month goal. But the last but not least, on the note of classes and so forth, we just started a new series that Carrie's teaching, and this is I call it beta, which basically means we're trying it out, seeing how it works, and it's a live broadcast. So he doesn't interact like we're doing so he's teaching a group of students, and he's got a few beginners classes that he's teaching, and he sets up his camera and he has his microphone and he has the organ and he teaches to the students. But if you have the materials, if it's something that's appealing to you, you have the materials, you can follow along. And this way he can still teach his local class and then also broadcast to the masses for those who may need some more beginners type classes. I didn't know how many people show up yesterday. We had 20 people show up yesterday. He's got a couple more, and he's got an intermediate one this week, and that's a little bit more on the advanced side, so keep that in mind. Again, the interaction is not like this, so he does have it on mute the whole time because he can't keep an eye on it. So keep in mind, it's just a totally different experience that we want to try and have some fun with. Last but not least, and then I'm going to get the video ready. We have, and I know some of you have heard about it, but I'm going to tell you what it is now. And Sean, can you have the ability to go to our Patreon site while I get the video ready?
Okay. Okay.
And then when you're ready, you can screen share it. And so what we are doing is, and I'm talking slowly to give him time to find it and screen share it. And he's going to do that in a moment. Okay. So you'll see there, that's our, it's called patreon.com/Fletcher Music Centers. And if you're not sure how to find it, on every email that I send out every day at the very bottom, there's a click here to check out our Patreon page. What I'm doing with this is multiple things. First of all, every class, every event that we teach, every is going to be posted on here. Some of the content is free, like it is on YouTube, and some of it, let's see here, scroll, see like that one there. Dawn's class, that was her recorded class, so is not. In order to unlock that, you'd have to become a patron and make a small donation. It helps. And some of the classes, like if you see the picture there on Carrie, that means you can actually see that and you can follow it for free. But if you become a patron, you can actually see everything. The other thing that you'll notice, see like there, that was the set list that had all of the songs the staff played and then what rhythms they used. Some of the content is not just recorded classes. For example, let's see if you scroll down. I don't know if you could find it. Myra's, oh, let's stop right there. There's, wait, no, keep going. I'm sorry. The other way, keep going. Oh, you have to, there's more posts. But Myra did a video recording of Over the Rainbow, and she provided some presets and a handout. That particular one is locked, and some of the students were able to download her presets that she used for that. And I tried them out, and I'm telling you what, it worked really nicely. So over time, we're going to be putting not only every class and every concert we do, but extra bonus content that you won't see in a live experience. So we're really trying to make it worth your $5, and you can contribute more if you like too. You don't have to do 5, you can do 10. And if you really like me, because I work so hard at putting that up, you can contribute 15. It's up to you, but it's worth it. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to screen before I put this up. Myra, do you have any parting words before I put your concert up, your little recording?
This was a lot of fun. I liked working with you, Robert. I enjoyed that.
Likewise.
A lot of the people who are on, I know because I've been with Fletcher for 22 years. And a lot of people I've met through the phone because I do a lot of phone calling. And I'm always available for anyone who needs help, who wants any kind of information.
Here we go, or here you go, should I say.
Here I go. Welcome to my music studio. I am playing on my beautiful Patriot, and I will be doing the finale from my West Side Story medley.
Big round of applause. Myra Bonneville.
Great,
Beautiful.
Myra. Thank you.
That is probably my favorite Broadway show. Love that music.
And by the
Beautiful.
way, as an extra, you know, the handout that we had earlier that I kept putting up, Myra's handout, which looks like if I put the right one, that is also
Gentleman has started
that is going
screen
to be
share.
attached to our Patreon page, so you can print that out from there. So it definitely another reason to become a patron. Again, big round of applause to Myra, everybody. Give it up. Enjoy.
Thank you for letting me come to your living room or
Wonderful,
whatever room
wonderful.
you're in.
Very good. You're welcome.
You got it. We'll do it again because Owen said so. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you real
Bye,
soon.
Robert.
Online.
Bye, Robert.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mara.
Bye.
Sounds great, Myra.